Consider the numbers that define a human life. We assume age is a simple, unbreakable fact, a ticking clock marked by the turning of the calendar. But at the very edges of human survival, at the threshold of 100 years and beyond, age is not always a biological certainty, but a fragile tapestry of paper, ink, and memory. The oldest among us are often caught in a hidden, incredibly complex labyrinth of forgotten archives, statistical ghosts, and the quiet decay of human record keeping. You might think living to 110 is a matter of pure biology, but it is deeply governed by the invisible, sometimes flawed architecture of human bureaucracy. If you find comfort in drifting through the deep, hidden currents of human demography and the mysteries of extreme longevity, please consider taking a slow, quiet moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your gentle support allows us to continue this journey. Now, let us begin. For 2 decades, we have been told a comforting story about places called blue zones. Imagine the sun-drenched, mountainous villages of Sardinia or the quiet emerald islands of Okinawa. In these tranquil corners of the world, we were told people possess the secret to a vast and vibrant lifespan. The early pioneers of this concept drew blue circles on maps to mark regions where men and women routinely celebrated their 100th birthdays, creating an index of extreme longevity. The explanation felt deeply intuitive to our modern minds. We believed it was the simple, wholesome rhythms of their lives. A diet rich in plants, the daily, incidental movement of walking up steep village stairs, the deep, unbroken bonds of family, and a guiding sense of purpose. It offered a beautiful, simple promise. It suggested that if we just ate the right beans, poured a moderate glass of wine, and lived peacefully, we too could outwit time. But as we slowly descend into the quiet depths of demographic science, the picture begins to shift, revealing a vastly more intricate and sometimes unsettling reality. To understand extreme age, we must look not just at the body, but at the data that records it. Imagine stepping into a vast, dusty archive filled with millions of historical birth and death certificates. Researchers diving into these archives discovered a profound anomaly. In the United States, for instance, when individual states began mandating strict, standardized birth certificates, the number of individuals reaching the age of 110 did not rise with better medicine. Instead, it plummeted by roughly 80%. It is a strange, quiet truth that the highest concentrations of remarkable age globally often correlate not with flawless health, but with high regional poverty, low literacy, and the historical absence of birth records. In the shadows of this data, we find a phenomenon known as age heaping. This occurs when reported birth dates cluster abnormally on specific calendar days, like the first of the month or days divisible by 5, which is a quiet echo of human guessing rather than precise documentation. And in some regions, the extraordinary number of centenarians was a ghost story. In Japan, a sweeping government audit in the year 2010 revealed that hundreds of thousands of people listed as over 100 years old were completely unaccounted for. Their deaths never recorded by families quietly collecting their pensions. Similar silent audits in Greece and Italy found tens of thousands of supposed centenarians who had long since passed away. Yet, this does not mean the blue zones are entirely an illusion. It means the truth requires meticulous, almost surgical separation of fact from fiction. Dedicated biodemographers have developed rigorous methods to combat these very errors. They do not trust the census alone. They perform a quiet archaeology of human lives. They trace back through civil registries, cross-reference ecclesiastical baptismal records from the 19th century, and verify the birth orders of siblings to ensure the mathematical plausibility of a mother's age, systematically erasing identity switches and falsehoods. In Okinawa, they rely on the koseki, an intricate, continuously updated family registry system established in the late 19th century that weaves the entire history of a family into a single, verifiable document. When the errors and the ghosts are gently swept away, a genuine core of extreme longevity remains in these carefully validated zones. Here we reach the absolute edge of our understanding, encountering a profound and beautiful paradox. The longevity in these isolated regions is real, but it is already fading like a shadow in the morning light. Consider the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica. By examining a massive nationwide survival database tracking hundreds of thousands of lives, researchers found a startling trend. Men born in Nicoya in 1995 had a tremendous survival advantage, living significantly longer than their peers. But for the cohorts born just 4 decades later, in 1945, that advantage has completely vanished. This phenomenon is known as a cohort effect. It means the extreme longevity was inextricably tied to the highly specific, unrepeatable conditions of a particular moment in time, a unique intersection of traditional diets, historic hardship, and profound isolation. The deepest mystery is that these zones of exceptional life are not permanent biological fortresses. They are fragile, transient ripples in the stream of human history, disappearing the moment the modern world, with its new diets and conveniences, washes over them. What does this delicate, shifting reality tell us about the nature of our existence? It suggests that human longevity is not a code to be cracked, nor a static prize waiting in a remote mountainous village. It is a highly localized, deeply fragile harmony between a human being, their community, and their exact moment in history. The centenarians of the blue zones are the final echoes of a world that no longer exists. As we drift towards sleep, we can find a quiet peace in this impermanence. We do not need to chase immortality or perfectly replicate the past. We are simply asked to live fully in our own time, connecting deeply with those around us, and letting the great sweeping tides of time carry us forward into the quiet, starlit unknown.